It's such a beautiful place. A lot of people are moving to Paraguay for tax-free residency because they're sick of the system that enslaves them to work 9 to 5 and pay 30% or more of their income to people that are just stealing it effectively. Governments aren't putting the money towards infrastructure, they're putting it towards their own coffers and private enterprise, etc., that they've got relationships with. So the thing is, Paraguay doesn't have an ocean. This is Uruguay. Uruguay also has tax-free residency. A number of countries are fighting to get people to come and reside in their countries and contribute to society and spend their money here. The thing is, Uruguay, although it has the coast, Paraguay has massive rivers. Uruguay has nice roads. Paraguay doesn't. Uruguay has a higher cost of living. Paraguay is cheaper. There are pros and cons to every country. I'm not here to tell you the negatives of each country, but if you're looking for a country that allows you to have the freedom of speech and get away with a few traffic infringements because you're not getting fined for everything you do with cameras, etc., this might be a place for you. Tax makes up more than 60% of the cost of alcohol in Australia. In Australia, reselling boats is one of the best things you can do for a cash side hustle. There is no tax on boats, there is no stamp duty on boats, there is no transfer fees on boats. All there is basically the registration. Unlike cars where you pay, I think, $30 for every 1,000 of purchase price when you put it into your name, you don't do that on boats. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars reselling boats. Houseboats particularly is one way that people are doing money laundering in Australia, and some of the guys in Manham, for example, are making millions of dollars reselling houseboats, because when you have a houseboat that's yours and you're doing it up, you sell it, you buy another one that's yours, you do it up, you sell it, you're making $100,000, $200,000 per houseboat. That's good cash money that you can make that you don't need to declare, which is how people are in Australia getting ahead. Smell the roses. Do I need to say more? Look at that sunset. Why do people stay at home in a country that doesn't support them or their ambitions? This is called Hand in the Sand, and it's in Uruguay. 2.5 hour bus ride here. It's just apartments, the whole coast. All these people that are looking from all those buildings probably don't even appreciate this because they wake up to it every morning. Coffee, little yogurt, and my Nescafe. 21 Australian dollars. A lot more expensive to buy things here than what it is in Paraguay. Paraguay, that would be $6. So a lot of people are picking Paraguay for cost of living as well as tax-free residency. With those two powers combined, you know, Captain Planet, if you don't look it up, you can't go wrong. I got friends in South Australia that own berths and they have yachts, and they actually rent them out as like Airbnbs, but long-term accommodation, because the cost of living has gone out of control and a lot of people don't have anywhere to live. So they're turning to living on boats, for example. This is another thing, by having kids young affords you the ability to have this lifestyle. You know, I procrastinated and I waited. My kids are all adults now, and I wanted to do this. I had to keep waiting and waiting until they got older and older, and I think we've always got something in our lives that makes us wait. Tomorrow we're going from Punta del Este to Montevideo, and the bus is a 2.5 hour trip. If you go by car, it's only an hour and a half. Like hundreds of kilometers of apartments overlooking the ocean, and thousands and thousands of people get to wake up every single day with that view. It doesn't make sense to me why people in Australia pay $10 million for a waterfront property when here you can get them like small apartments from 200,000 US. Everything in Uruguay is more expensive than that of Paraguay and Argentina. Uruguay, I just paid $15 to get 5 shirts dry cleaned. It's the actual off season. I didn't sort of time coming here around summer, winter. I just didn't even think about the weather and how cold it is. I didn't bring any winter clothes with me to South America, thinking that I was trying to escape the winter, and I always heard that in Paraguay the coldest days got down to 10 degrees, so I didn't think that was kind of jumper weather. Just at the bus terminal, I don't have a credit card, so I can't hire a car. It's only $110 to hire a car for 2 days, but instead I got to pay $60 to get a bus from here to the next place we're going at Uruguay, and I got about $100 in Ubers to go and do the sightseeing, so it would have been cheaper to get a car. But things you got to think about. I closed everything in Australia to cut my tyres so that I wouldn't be considered a resident of Australia for tax purposes, but it takes 3, 4, 5 months in order to get your cedula, tax ID, ROOK, all the ID documents that you need in Paraguay to be a resident there, in order to then apply for bank accounts. So I'm living off the savings that I've got, but I can't use that card in order to hire a car. Might have been worth holding on to a card in Australia in order to be able to do these things for the 4 months while waiting for my temporary residency in Paraguay. While I was just making that video, I missed bloody $1,000 profit. Look at that. Trade the minute chart or the 15-second chart if you want to find out how I go about making a living while trading and traveling. You can check out the Discord, link is in the description below. But I've literally just watched a $1,700 profit there turn into only $300 now. So this video just cost me bloody $1,200. I gotta bloody buy a belt. Since I started walking while I've been traveling, I think these ladies, what do you reckon? You're a star. I've gone from having pants that I couldn't even get in because I was so fat. If you want to see how fat I was, just look at my old videos. To now needing a belt because they keep falling off me, the pants that is. Aloe vera is Spanish for aloe vera. These plants are huge. If you get sunburnt here, you can just come along and help yourself to someone's vegetation. Now, everything is being torn down to make way. Actually, I'm surprised these are still here because even these are being torn down for high rise now. There's very, very few, what I would say, holiday homes left on the coast of Uruguay. It is all just sky rises. The amount of people that live in these countries compared to that of Australia, we haven't got, I guess, the population to need to build so many, which is why they're probably importing a lot of immigration, because they just don't have the workforce to replace the people that are dying. What a freaking awesome spot to have your teeth worked on. Isn't that a bit of an overkill, having a dentistry here on the ocean? I mean, you've got beautiful buildings like this right next door and a dentistry on the ocean. So many people are living their best lives, and yet we pay so much to have that quality of life that you can get so much cheaper if you just think outside the box. It's crazy to think that people live forever where they're born. That the world is a big place. I'm in the supermarket at the moment because I've got no coffee, and I just thought I'd have a look at some of the prices here. So that is $624, and I think it's 0.34 Australian to that, so that's like $20 for a chicken. In Australia it's only $12 for a chicken. I might be wrong, I feel like I'm wrong. Comment below if I am. But the alcohol, I mean, if I don't drink alcohol, but the thing with South America is the government doesn't tax people for alcohol. Tobacco is not healthy, alcohol isn't healthy. The government allows these things and taxes people to have them. And yet things that are healthy, you've got to go and see a doctor for, get a prescription to go to a chemist. It's just money on money. They make it really hard to get things that are healthy, really easy to get things that are unhealthy. Makes you think, doesn't it? So bloody windy, I'm covering my ears, but this is the thing when you buy apartments and you don't look at where you're buying them, because you might think you've got a beautiful view of the water, which you might have had before they built that in front of you. Although it looks like that one was there before this one. It's happening all over the place, and yet people are investing in countries and locations without inspecting on the ground. Join the Discord, link is in the description below if you want someone to inspect anything you're looking at buying abroad, because I love looking at property and I'll offer it to you for a service, maybe. Something to do, right? They've blocked off the road. It's actually windy there. I'll stand here for a second because a boat's come adrift. Obviously it was anchored and then it's lifted up and the boat's washed into the shore. That's one thing you do need to be cautious of, obviously, if you're a boatie. I've had that happen a number of times, not good experiences. I will say that Uruguay's been a lot quieter than what I anticipated. It could be due to the season, but Argentina was so busy. Everywhere you went in Buenos Aires, there was people everywhere. It didn't matter whether you were, like literally, it did not matter where you went. Every street had people frequenting it. Every street had people down it. And yet here, there's no one anywhere. Like, I reckon I've seen 100 people today. I would have seen 2,000-3,000 people in the same time walking the same distance in Buenos Aires. I miss my bike. There's all vintage motorcycles in there. The problem with this place as well is nothing here is open during the week, but they've got all vintage shops and stuff, but it's all just open on Saturdays. Today's Tuesday, and even the couple of places that sort of are open with this sort of stuff, they close at 12 o'clock. It's like we're in a country town back in Australia, but we've got the population of a major city. Even with Airbnb, there was dozens and dozens of properties here available, $40 a night. People live in their own countries. Here you can rent for $250 a week, beautiful ocean views, and in your own country you can't rent anything under $600 a week, and it's a shit quality of living. It's a crap place with a crap bathroom in a crap area, and here, ocean views, brand new modern apartment for less than half of the price. Why people still choose to stay at home when these options are available to them, it's the fear that they just need to overcome. Even bloody fooderies, nothing's open. You've got all these, look, another antique store and not open. You've got all these little sort of alleyways that shoot off the main roads, so if you're not sort of walking between them, there's going to probably be some hidden gems that you won't find otherwise. Everything looks like it's closed, though. I don't know if it's open all week during holiday season. There's another antique store there. There's some touristy stuff there. But if you want to sell stuff and you've got a physical shop, you need to be open, which is why I think physical stores are becoming dead. They're turning what were retail stores into apartment buildings these days because no one visits stuff in person. And there's no need to. With things like Whatnot and auction houses, you don't need physical stores. The advantage you do have with them though is the walk-in sales. People call you and walk in because they don't want people to know what they're selling. The amount of people that would sell to me when I had my shop, look, another one here, because they didn't want to advertise what they had. They didn't want family to know what they had. And like even my mate, he advertises wanting to buy real estate. He's bought dozens of properties. He's made millions of dollars because in country towns, for example, someone might have inherited 20 properties in a country town. It might be a well-known family. They don't want everyone in the town to know they're selling their dad's estate or the local, bloody bakery or anything like that, because locals might think that they're entitled to have first shot at the property and get a bargain because they were friends with old Roger. It doesn't work that way. Things are sold privately all the time without the public being aware. The privacy that you get when you're dealing with a shop owner, you're not advertising your stuff on Facebook for the world to see. It's not going to an auction house where it might be a rare item or a numbered item that your family might see and be watching. People don't know. You're able to go in, hock your stuff, and move on to the next thing. You sell your property. You don't have to let the neighbours know. It's sold privately, cash deal, off you go. If people don't know that you're buying because you're not advertising or you don't have a shop, then you're not going to get those deals. People want the deals, but they don't do any of the work in order to get them. You need to use your initiative. It's women's intuition, but when it comes to business, if you don't have any intuition and you don't have initiative, you're not going to get the deals or the mills or make the money. If you're a bargain hunter, going to antique shops can make money, but it's really not the place you want to source. You want to source from where the antique shops are sourcing. I don't know where that is. I'm in a country I'm not familiar with, and I haven't seen garage sales. I also haven't looked them up. I might be missing them. It's been 7 weeks. I went to a garage sale the week before I jumped on my plane to come here, and I made $7,000 buying gold jewelry, and people are like, why are you going to garage sales? Would you leave $7,000 of profit behind just because you're being lazy? It's silly. What is it? Is it a car? Is it a motorbike? Is it a gopher? It's like a bloody little gopher. I don't know how fast it would go. I don't see the point in it. It's like, I don't know. Why would you buy such a thing? I feel like local food. That's Mustaza. It's like a McDonald's, which is here, or Burger King, which is here. So is that eating local? Does that count? They should not have all these bloody lollies at the entrance of a shop. It's lucky it's closed or I'd go in there. If you're ever bored and you need to make money while you're having lunch, just place a couple little trades. It doesn't take long. Some of the questions I've been getting about the difference between Uruguay and Paraguay are these, for example. Look at this. It's a walkway that is actually flat. You don't have to worry about obstacles. The road is smooth. The roads here are actually better than Australia. I like them how they're, well, back that way, a lot of them are white. The biggest problem with riding a motorcycle isn't that if you fall off, you injure yourself when falling if you're not wearing a jacket, but it's on a hot day with black tarmac, like this black tarmac, you got 3rd-degree burns from sticking. So when they try and get you off the ground, your skin is stuck to it. I'm still getting used to giving way to the opposite direction because you've got to give way to your right, not to your left. And there's another lane and another lane. Just the simple things like riding a bicycle without a helmet. Freedoms that we should be able to have. It's our body, our choices. Well, we don't even have these choices. That's the thing. I want the choice. I want the freedom. Like, you have that in places like South America. In Australia, if you don't wear your bicycle helmet on a bicycle, the police fine you. It's like $300 fine, but they also take away your driver's points. So if you don't have many points on your driver's license left, you can lose the ability to drive a car because you don't wear a bicycle helmet on a bike. You could be riding on the footpath, 10 kilometers an hour, you get a $300 fine, and you can lose your driver's license. Makes sense, doesn't it? I actually can't get over how quiet all of Uruguay is. Obviously, I'll say this again, it's not peak season. That's the Star, not the Star Casino, that's the freaking Uruguay big casino there. It's absolutely beautiful, went there last night. I just wish I could speak Spanish. I met some awesome people and body language. I guess I knew what they were saying when we were all winning and the table was cheering. But it's dead. Coming from Argentina where there's just people everywhere, there's not a soul in sight here. You know, like you've got this beautiful beach here and yet no one's on it. It doesn't make sense. Walking up these boardwalks and they've obviously all graded the sand again. Got the jetty here, but there's not a person here. The sunset's forming, beautiful night out, and no one's enjoying it. Look at the sunset down there. And the backdrop of buildings, it's not as busy here as it is driving through here from where we got the ferry across from Argentina. But the beautiful landscape here, the serenity, and it's cheap and it's tax-free. What's not to love other than not knowing Spanish? It's the shit you take for granted, right? Waking up every day to sunrise, sunset, water, blue skies, people that smile. We just take so much shit for granted. Look at the moon. Look how clear that moon is. In Australia, you'll notice with all the chemtrails, do you know, companies have been caught spraying farmers' crops so there's less competition. Keep your eyes open because so many people are blind to so much that is going on. It's the West that is doing this. Places like, and people contradict me. Well, I'm contradicting myself. People tell me that South America is the West. Now, the West is defined as English-speaking first world countries. This isn't, I would consider either of those, or is Uruguay a first world country? Irrespective, you just go by what you hear on the news and you're told to believe everything you hear. What I'm saying is maybe question things you hear.